On May 11th, 2024, I stumbled across Agamescout's video documenting Alex T's recent world records. That was the video that originally inspired me to start playing, but like everybody else when they first started playing, I was unsurprisingly terrible. The footage you've been watching this whole time is actually a clip from my very first Tetris stream. I could barely even get to level 5. That didn't stop me from getting to my goal of level 10 though. About 4 hours into my first stream, I had this run going.
Let's go! No! One more line?
After that game though, runs weren't looking so good to get to my goal, so I ultimately ended stream 6 hours and 17 minutes in. The next day though, my dad figured out he had a spare USB controller in our closet. The controller made all the difference, as only about 51 minutes into the stream, I crushed level 9 and went on to level 10, completing my first notable achievement in NES Tetris.
I'm almost at level 9. I'm almost at level 9. Level 9, let's go! Oh my god! I did it! Yeah! Let's go! Let's go!
Even with that completed, that wouldn't stop me from going right back to streaming for another goal, but this time I was going for level 15. This was significantly harder, and I'll explain why. In Tetris, every 10 lines brings you to the next level. When the game levels up, the color palette changes, but more importantly, the speed increases. For example, level 5 pieces take 7.6 seconds to drop, which is extremely slow. Level 9 on the other hand though is much faster, with it being a speed of 2 seconds per piece, almost 4 times the speed of level 5. Now for level 14, where the pieces fall in 1.33 seconds, which doesn't seem much faster, but here is 9 and 14 right next to each other. With that out of the way though, it took an entire 8 streams of improving strategizing to finally get this fabled game. I started on a level 7, as it was a good speed because it wasn't too fast or slow. We coasted for the first 2 levels and got on a perilous dig on the level 9 speeds, but we dug down and got a few clutch Tetrises on level 10 and 11. And on level 13, at 135 lines, I got my first ever 100k score in NES Tetris. Sadly, I still hasn't reached my goal of level 15 in that game, so I just had to keep coasting. But on level 13, my board started spiraling out of control. Things were looking bleak, but I just had to keep burning lines. Eventually though, I got to level 15.
Oh my god! I did it! I'm gonna keep going though! I'm actually gonna keep going! No fucking way! I did it! I did it! Yeah! Yes! Let's go! I'm actually so already! It took 8 days! But we did it! We did it! Level 16!
Incredibly, I had gone the extra mile at the top of the board and got to level 16. Things were starting to ramp up though, as now I was going to try and pass the second fastest speed in the game and get to level 20. By this point, we were actually starting to see some of the fastest speeds that NES Tetris offers in the unmodified ROM. Levels 10, 11, and 12 are actually the exact same speed, which makes all those levels the 5th fastest speeds in the game at 1.66 seconds per piece. On the other hand, the 4th fastest speeds are level 13, 14, and 15, so the last levels of my level 15 game are all the same speed besides for level 16, which is the same speed as the level that Tetris Pros usually start on, which is level 18. That is the 3rd fastest speed in the game, which comes in at 1 piece per second. But after you clear level 18, the game transitions to the 2nd fastest speed in the game, which is levels 19 through 28. This level is extremely difficult, as with the game's built-in auto-shift, without any special techniques like quick taps, the maximum you can get a long bar over is only 6 rows high, and if you are a skilled bass player, that will decrease to around 4 to 5 high. That's why there are so many people that use alternate playstyles. I use hyper-tapping, which is a really difficult but efficient technique where you mash the D-pad to get the pieces over. The speed really just depends on the person, but in a nutshell, 19 speeds are still really difficult, so I would need to keep my stack low and accommodating to survive 19. And that I did. For a whole 2 to 3 weeks though, I wasn't able to get any significant achievements. So you would probably assume that I slowed down a bit. But in fact, that was not the case, as I was going for something that was a lot harder than just beating one level of 19 speeds. The kill screen, aka level 29. It's the fastest possible speed in NES Tetris without a ROM patch, and it was a level that probably only a couple 10,000 people have ever gotten to, and I was going to attempt to be part of that group. But little did I know that it would be my longest time spent to a goal yet. I was chugging along, getting more consistent on level 18, and one of my best runs even got to level 25. This task was much too difficult for me to conquer as I was then, so I would need some other tactics to get there. But after I ended streaming for kill screen, I started streaming something nobody expected. I jumped from trying to reach the kill screen to attempting getting a Maxout, one of the most talked about achievements in the NES Tetris community, as only around 570 people have ever gotten the fabled 1,000,000 point score. What makes the Maxout so difficult though? Well, to get a Maxout, you need to go for 4 line clears, aka Tetrises, for about 60% of your burn lines in game. This is incredibly difficult, as you don't know when the next eyepiece, or the long bar, will come and result in Tetris. So you would need to play safe and conservative, but also aggressive at the same time. This proved to be a big challenge though, as I was going into this goal with a PB of only around 550,000. That score stayed for a bit, as I was a pretty inconsistent player, topping out with low 200 to 300k scores on a good game. Until one night on 5 AM, I had this flawless game.
first aid. Oh my god. Oh, I'm shaking. Dude. Oh my god.
That's right, I'd skipped 600k and 700k in a single game. That game was historic for me, and it actually drastically improved my play from then on, because only a few weeks later, I had got another significant score. This time it was at level 27, and an 837,000 score. This really was the sign that I was not slowing down anytime soon, as about 3 weeks later, I had been secretly getting really good, because after being quiet on my YouTube for a bit of time, I posted this, my first kill screen score, also with a 700k. But a few minutes later, I had posted another kill screen score, but this time it was an 800k. After that though, I posted something legendary. 3 kill screens in a single day and a new PB. And a 100k score jump, and almost everybody knows what happened next. Only about 8 days later, I got this game. The Maxout.
Person competition record at the time, leading Sodium to say, by the middle of game 2, the rest of the convention hall was beginning to close down. Blank with some crazy survival during this vendor announcement.
Break that Quaid curse. There we go. Well done, players.
Blank would enter the kill screen just a few thousand points behind Sodium. Here we go. First kill screen run of the day.
Oh no!
And Sodium wins!
This is a great match.
3, 2, 1, tetris.
Sodium would build a huge lead in game 3, requiring Blank to be aggressive, and it ended up not working out.
And that's gonna do it. Sodium
Sodium
had to fight
advances.
for his life to make it to the finals.
All right, I think we're going over to the main stage on the stream.
All right, we're gonna shut the stream down. We're gonna pick us up on the other semifinal.
Unfortunately, there were still more technical delays on the main stage that needed to be sorted out. Una had nabbed a seat in the front row of the audience, and Storm and Norman passed the time by trying to hyper tap on top of his head. The final technical issue was one of the setups not having the sound come through, but after all the setbacks, we decided to just finally get the show going. Coffee and Superminds had played their first 2 games off stream and were tied with 1 game apiece, meaning the first broadcast game was a decider. But it was over almost as soon as it began, as Superminds got into a high dig. Taking every burn he can get. Tops out and Coffee has taken the decider! At long last, it was time for the finals, fittingly between the top 2 seeds. All the other convention attendees and vendors had left, with the Tetris crowd being the only people still in the main hall.
Let's get these guys in hand.
Look at them going back and forth, just talking already. It's just like when they're on Discord when they're playing online at home.
Yeah, the Discord VC. It's where all the magic happens. Sodium and Coffee were memeing with each other throughout the first game, at one point even flashing their next boxes on and off, which seemed to cause Sodium in a bit of trouble. Unfortunately, the missed Tetris festered into an extremely difficult dig.
We're neck and neck, 125 each. Neck and neck.
Oh my gosh, Sodium is not getting the square! Ah, and misdrops the T! And Coffee is taking game 1! In game 2, Sodium and Coffee called a truce on the memeing, with Sodium saying library and Coffee responding yep. Sodium still opted for the trendy moves though, pulling off a textbook VITS, or vertical eye-tuck setup. By the transition, Sodium had built over a 100,000 point lead, and Coffee got stuck in a dig after a delayed burn that wouldn't.
Line piece now.
Oh, and misses the pole vault! And Sodium is ahead and takes game 2.
Guess what?
We have a decider. It all came down to a winner-takes-all game 3, not just $250 cash prize. Sodium continued with the perfect meme moves, executing a flawless adjustment known as 5 and below.
Ooh. Did he know that was coming?
Both players were on max-out pace past the transition, and Sodium had a small lead but ran into an S-burst. Sodium going aggressive.
That's fire.
Cannot fill out the center. Sodium's board was ravaged for several levels, and he was unable to score consistent Tetrises. Took the lead. If Coffee just stayed clean and coasted, he would have the victory in the bag, but he got into an extended delayed burn and missed getting a square all the way over to the left. Suddenly, Coffee's game was just about over, and Sodium was just a Tetris and a half behind. Coffee's about to top out. It's all to what Sodium can do on the kill screen.
Let's go. 942 needs 950. He needs
Oh my
950.
gosh!
He's
Look at the T-spin!
7,000 point difference.
And Coffee is your winner! Sodium and Coffee were congratulated by their peers as Adam Cornelius to make the results official. Coffee was handed his $250 cash prize, and Coffee and Sodium received their gold and silver medals. Chris Bidwell didn't want second place to leave without a cash prize, so he personally gave $50 to Sodium, enough to cover a World Championships entry fee as well. Then it was time to pose for photos.
Can we get one of choking?
After we took a few group shots, it was time to head out, but the day was far from over. Chris Bidwell lugged out his Tetris tournament in a box, and we met up for dinner at a great Mexican restaurant that was ironically named Corona. Una's flip phone ended up being the highlight of the dinner as she passed it around for people to try the NES Tetris emulator she had installed on it. After that, we went over to the lobby of the hotel Chris Bidwell was staying at, and he finally unloaded his PAL NESs, which ran on European frame rates that most of the North Americans had never played on before. Sodium and Coffee took advantage of being together in person to have their first experience on PAL be a mind meld game, where Coffee controlled the side-to-side movement and Sodium controlled the flips.
Is this PAL? Mine were already. Why is that so fast? Already. I'm gonna have to get used to this. That was a theoretical no movement. Oh, that's just a weird chapter.
We tried to honor as much as possible the hallmarks of PAL Tetris commentary.
Tetris.
Let me pause that. Gotta concentrate, you know? Oh my god. Oh my god. So dirty. I can't.
Oh! Oh my god! Oh! Oh! Yes! 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 Oh my god! I did it! Max out! Yeah! Yeah! Yes! Oh my god! Oh, it's about time! Yes! Oh my god! A16! Yeah!
I had done it, a max out, from not even getting to level 10 to getting a kill stream with a full 1,000,000 point score. I had triumphed over Tetris, but my Tetris journey isn't over yet. Hello everybody, thanks for watching this video. It was a video I've wanted to make for a long time, but I just didn't have the max out yet. But I would just like to thank everybody who supported me, and a special thanks to Agamescout for shouting me out when I made my first Tetris Journey video. Thank you, and goodbye.